Hello, this is the second ever Gauntlet review on this channel, and in case you don't know how this works, I'll be ranking each level of the Gauntlet on their aspects, such as gameplay, the decoration, the theming, and my overall enjoyment to get a score out of 40 for the level, and at the end, I'll add up all the scores from the levels, plus an extra score from the rewards of the Gauntlet, and see what my final thoughts are. The first level in the Poison Gauntlet is called Acid Factory, and right off the bat, you can see that it has this really cool, toxic waste facility theme, which I find very amusing because a lot of the earlier Gauntlets don't really stick to their themes, so that gets some bonus points. The gameplay can be incredibly jank in some parts, like this ship part, and in a lot of spots you have to eyeball the gameplay. In case you don't know what that means, think about the Poltergeist third coin. I think the deco does its job pretty well, but the gameplay is not all that interesting. Overall, I'll give the gameplay a 5 out of 10, the deco a 6 out of 10, the theming an 8 out of 10, and my overall enjoyment a 5 out of 10. While the gameplay is okay, it's not really that interesting. The next level is Beast Mode Fool, and I really don't understand why this level is in the Poison Gauntlet. You could argue that the Gauntlets before this didn't really stick to their theme, but the reason why I'm confused about this one is because it's a remake of a GD World level, and I feel like it would have fit better in the bonus Gauntlet. The gameplay is fine, and the deco also does its job pretty well. And it's a little boring at some parts, but it can have some fun parts too. But it's kind of a nothing burger for the most part. I think I'll give the gameplay a 7 out of 10, the deco an 8 out of 10, the theming a 5 out of 10 because it's a level remake and it's not really that creative. And I'll probably give my overall enjoyment a 6 out of 10. The next level in the Gauntlet is Ground Zero, and much like Acid Factory, I think it sticks to the theming of the Gauntlet really well, which is kind of a surprise, again, because the earlier Gauntlets don't really stick to their theme all that well. Generally, I think the gameplay is fine. There are a bit of spots that could have been improved, but it's okay for the most part. The theming is also kind of a nothing burger. It kind of has the same deal with Acid Factory, where it's like this toxic facility, but, I mean, since it's being done twice, I think it's gotten a little old. The song is really good, and I think the level flows nicely. For gameplay, I think I'll give it a 7 out of 10. For the deco, I'll also give it a 7 out of 10. For the creativity and theming, a 6 out of 10, and for my overall enjoyment, an 8 out of 10. I think this level's pretty good. I'm pretty sure that this is a collab level. Please correct me if I'm wrong, but the gameplay is pretty fun, actually. The decoration is alright, but the theming does not at all fit in the Poison Gauntlet, although this level is pretty fun. For gameplay, I'll give it an 8. For decoration, I'll give it a 7. For theming, I'll give it a 5. And for my overall enjoyment, I'll give it an 8. Pretty good.
Time for the moment you've been waiting for. Preparing the Krabby Patty!
Look, as much as people like to clown on this level, I actually kinda like it. It is poorly put together in some parts, and the gameplay can be kinda jank, but I think it has a really creative theme, although it doesn't really fit into the Poison Gauntlet other than the fact that the level is green. Me personally, all the little gameplay bits that are like unbalanced or poorly put together, I barely even notice them, and I just like this level. Some transitions are a little blind though, and the aliens are made with the 3D tiles, which I don't even know why, because it's easier to make them with pixel blocks, and this level was started in 2.0. A thing from GD Cologne's video on this level that I do agree with is that the pacing of the dialogue in the boss fight is absolutely horrendous. So I'm gonna voice it over. Ha 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 ha, you have not win. You died. No. First bit of dialogue is fine, but right here where you pick up this bullet thing, I really wish you didn't just automatically pick it up. Kind of like in GD Cologne's video. In fact, I actually made a remix of this boss fight where you have to collect a certain amount of them. Also, the pacing in this part right here is also horrible, so I'm gonna voice that over too. No, this is the end for you. Anyways, now it's time for level final, and now you're up against the final boss. He shoots some lasers at you, and they're pretty easy to dodge, and then he summons the spike wall. All his attacks are incredibly easy. The boss fight carries on for a bit, but the dialogue at the end is just peak cinema. Just watch. Ha ha ha. Game over. No. Arg. You again. Yeah. And we will end. No. No. Ha ha ha. Game over. Great. Okay, jokes aside, the gameplay is fine, but there are definitely a few parts that need to be fixed, so I'll give it probably a 7 out of 10. Decoration is also fine. It does its job pretty well, and I don't think there's anything that bad about it, so I'll give the decoration also a 7 out of 10. As for the theming and creativity, I really don't think it fits into the Poison Gauntlet other than the fact that the level is green, but I do think that the theming is very creative, so I'll probably give the theming like a 6 out of 10. As for my overall enjoyment, I think this level's pretty fun. It's pretty silly and wacky at some parts, but it's a pretty enjoyable level, so I think I'll give enjoyment an 8. When you beat the Poison Gauntlet, you get a player color, 3 poison shards, and 10 diamonds. And while the rewards are kind of a nothing burger, I think it's pretty fair for a gauntlet of this difficulty, so for that I'll give the rewards a 7 out of 10. Overall, I gave Acid Factory a 24 out of 40, Beast Mode Full a 26 out of 40, Ground Zero a 28 out of 40, Shrimp another 28 out of 40, Generation Retro a third 28 out of 40, and I gave the rewards a 7 out of 10. Adding that up, that gives us our total score of 141 out of 210, which is pretty decent. If I were to place that on a tier list, it would be B tier. Anyways, yeah, that's the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. If you're not licking and subscribing, what are you doing? And yeah, let me know what gauntlet you guys want to see next.